All right, KTTV, welcome back. We are here at Taps 2024, leading, leveling up and leading the way. So the biggest thing is I have Dr. Cynthia Wise, Waco ISD in the building. Oh, look. Hey, Dr. Wise, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Look, it is my pleasure. When we got this work out here, we always got to highlight, give people their flowers while they living, and then share all this good stuff that we got going on because we always trying to what you call that, make a path for others behind us, and somebody got to be able to get that information out. So thank you for talking about the work that you're doing today.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a
So
pleasure.
now, for the people that don't know, give us a little bit of background on you and your work currently in education in Waco ISD.
Well, presently I am a principal, a proud principal
Yes.
in Waco ISD at an elementary school, but I serve a dual role
Mhm.
as chief academic officer for the charter branch of Waco ISD.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Man. So how do you? One school is hard enough. How do you do it with the two roles? How do you manage that?
Well, Kevin, I've had so much experience
Yes.
with that. In my previous district, where I served for 17 years, I was the principal of an elementary school, the highest performing majority African American school in the state of Texas.
Mm,
I was the principal there, and because of my success there, my superintendent wanted me to go to the middle school to turn that around.
yeah.
And so I didn't want to leave my school, but we were a family, we were good,
Mhm.
right? And children were doing very well.
Yes.
And so I accepted the challenge, and I said, well, why can't I do both?
Yeah.
And he said, well, you may be on to something. So he allowed me to do both.
Yeah.
So I was a principal of a elementary school and middle school simultaneously. So I'm used to,
Whoa,
to
whoa,
doing
wait a minute. Look. Ooh, I should have just left that going because middle school and elementary. The good thing that makes me so excited about that is you think about the importance of third grade with our African American boys and their reading, and so in a school that's predominantly African American students and highest performing, that means you were doing so much good for so many people. Yeah. So big shouts out to you. Now the question is though, what was that secret sauce if you could share it with us that had y'all top performing?
well, it was the implementation
Mm.
of our culture conscious campuses model,
Come on now.
known as CCC.
Yes.
This is a model that has been vetted
Mhm.
and approved by the Texas Education Agency and the commissioner.
Yeah.
The commissioner back in 2018 sent his deputy commissioner, Winchester, down to East Texas, where I was principal, and said, go down there and see what that lady down there doing,
Yeah.
that these African American children
Mm.
are outperforming, in many cases, their white peers.
Woo!
And that's how it all got started. And so I met with the commissioner and all of the various stakeholders, and then I went through the process of being a bellwether fellow. And Bellwether works with over 13,000 plus schools of districts across
Yeah.
the nation. And they took me through that rigorous process and talked to all stakeholders. And then we codified what the commissioner said, that she really have a model. And they said yes,
Yeah.
because the parents could tell you, the students could tell you, the teacher could tell you, the community could tell you, everyone could tell you how it looks,
Yeah.
how excellence look, and what led to our students being so successful.
Yes.
And so from that point on, we codified the model, and I do have a playbook. We
Yeah.
codified the model,
Mm.
and then I was hired to be the CEO over the charter branch of the district,
Yeah.
the charter provider,
Mhm.
and to replicate the model across 6 of the district's charter schools,
Wow.
5 elementary and 1 middle school. And 2 or 3 of those schools were Montessori schools. And all of the schools were IB schools,
Yes.
or
Okay.
trying to get certified as IB schools.
And so, whew, wow. So CCC.
CCC.
And so how did you come up with the model? Like even to say, okay, I think they need this. I'm gonna take my time and put it out. Like how did that go? And how was it? Did you have a team or was this just your brainchild and you brought it to fruition?
Well, no man is an island and no man stands alone.
Come on
Right?
now.
So you need a team.
Yes.
But I was learning. I would attend workshops and principles. We have to grow as well. You
Yes.
have to have a growth mindset.
Mhm.
And so I knew that African American students were consistently underperforming, and I knew that shouldn't be.
Mhm.
God didn't just say because of the color of your skin, I'm going to give you a brain less than.
Yes.
And so I would go to the Margaret Kilgo. I don't know if you remember Margaret Kilgo, and she was the group guru in unpacking the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skill for those who may not know what that is. And I would go get trained, go to various workshops, and then we would just watch our children, observe them, and then when we saw an issue, a concern, we would meet my teacher leaders, and that's how I came along with the concept of teacher leaders.
Mhm.
So I started teacher leaders back in 2007, and
Come
we
on
would
now.
meet and say, okay, what can we do to address these students' needs? Right? Because we didn't use excuses, we had results. And you couldn't come to me talking about they low,
Yeah.
their parents in prison,
Mhm.
they don't value education, they can't speak English,
Mhm.
all of that. Okay, those are red herrings.
Yes.
And I have low tolerance, no tolerance
Come on now.
for that at
Yes.
all. So my team of teachers would come to me with solutions. And from there, we would the model it just evolved,
Yes.
knowing these are best practices,
Yes.
research-based best practices. And we started to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give a shout out to my son. And when I was talking to him, I said, "Oh, the Bellwether Foundation." I told him what it was. They want me to apply to become a Bellwether Fellow. And I said, what should I call this model? And he listened to what I said. He said, what about culture conscious?
Mm.
I said, oh, I like that.
Mm. Come on now.
And cultural conscious campuses evolve
Yes.
based upon our practice. We were consistent and we got results.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say you have something,
Mhm.
but you have to have a proof of concept.
Most definitely.
And our children, we were at an A school. Um, my elementary school consistently recognized by Region 7
Yeah.
as a high progress, high performance schools. This was for real. And when you walk through our schools, I remember Deputy Winchester saying, this is the best school in America. I said, and you are absolutely correct.
Absolutely correct. Oh, now?
Majority African American children.
Yeah.
Our children can do it.
Yes. Man, that's so powerful. So powerful. So now we got the deputy superintendent that came down. He looking at everything. I guess was that the beginning of going through TA to get it recognized and approved? So how did that process go? And I guess what's some of the steps that you took?
Well, when the deputy came down and then he interviewed me, the superintendent, board members from that district, and he reported back to the commissioner. That's the best school in America. And from there, I was called to go through the Bellwether Fellowship process. And from there, going through it, that was a rigorous process for about 6 months, I believe. And then they assign you a match partner. I'm going to give a shout out to Empower Schools and Alyssa Morton, the CEO over there.
Come on now.
And they worked with me to codify my model. And that was another rigorous process.
Yes.
And so that's how it all came about.
So
And
now,
thanks to Commissioner Marath
yeah,
for finding me.
for real. But the work led him to you.
Yes, it did.
Come on now.
He told them to go. And he's a very data-driven person. And so am I.
Yeah.
All right. But I never lose sight of the fact there are children behind the numbers.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
But I'm data-driven because the numbers not lying to you.
They ain't lying. Men and women lie, numbers don't. All right. So now when you going through these processes, taking from the work that you're doing, this is pretty much okay. I can come to your school, I can consult on this, but at the end of the day, all this stuff leads back to your name. Like this is like your, well, I guess proprietary system.
I guess it's
Okay.
my baby.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I'm
my
saying.
baby.
Okay. But now is let's say for instance a school, you see the data that made you kind of build this program at another school. How can this school come in and say, we want this? Like, what are some of the things that have to be? I guess we could say the blanket would be bad data, failing schools, but what are some of the things you say that school would be perfect for CCC?
I believe any school would be perfect for
Okay,
CCC.
let's go on now. Let's go
Let's
on now. Put
start
it in the
there.
box.
Okay, but struggling schools, schools with majority children of color and children in poverty will really benefit from this model, the CCC, right? Because our children need structure. A cultural conscious campus has a culture of high expectation. It has a strong instructional culture. It has a culture of strong teacher student relationships and a culture of community engagement.
Got to have the community.
You got to have it. And the research is very clear about this. Schools with a strong culture is the foundation for student achievement and growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that applies to any school,
Most
right?
definitely. Most definitely.
A CC school. First, we have 5 cornerstone characteristics, and these are non-negotiable. We won't budge on these. One, safe and inclusive schools. We believe our children are exceptional, and it is up to us to bring out of them what already exists within them. We have to put procedures, processes, clearly articulated rules and procedures in place where everyone is held accountable, adults and children, including myself.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? I believe if the teacher is ready, the student will rise. And a cultural conscious, so first you have safe and inclusive school. Then under the cultural conscious campus model, we develop the whole child by offering rigorous programs.
Yes.
We also, on the cultural conscious campus school, we want our students to be critical thinkers and problem solvers. Under the cultural conscious campus school, building those strong teacher-student relationships, we say what we mean and we do what we say. Teachers, we are friendly, but we are not the student's friend.
Come on now. Come on now.
We are facilitators of learning.
Yes.
And being a facilitator of learning, you are not sages on stages. You are facilitators.
Yes.
And also, lastly, and I already mentioned this about the research on CCC campus, our community engagement piece. We want to hear from our constituents.
Yes.
We use their feedback to improve upon our practices because we believe we are stronger together. Under the culture conscious campus, in a nutshell, those 4 aspects of culture that I talked to you about, building teacher-student relationship, being student-centered. You have to have a student-centered culture, a culture of high expectation, a strong instructional culture. Under the strong instructional culture, let me say that because this part is really important.
Most definitely.
All of it is important.
Yeah.
But let me say that. We don't just strive for mastery, but we strive for excellence in all that we do. Excellence. Okay. And you have to dedicate that reflective practice time where teachers can go, and we know them as professional learning community, but we have true professional learning community. It's not a downtime to get in there and talk about the Cowboys or vent, any of that. How do we monitor that? We have an agenda.
Yes.
Your team leaders turn the agenda to you in advance, principal. And on that agenda is only one item. And that's unpacking the standards. And okay, your teach, that's your curriculum. And the only way we're going to close the achievement gap, we got to teach the curriculum. How do they measure the gap in reading and math between white and black children? Right? They give them a what? An assessment.
I was gonna say they're gonna give you that test.
Gonna give you that test.
Yeah.
We're not teaching to the test. We're teaching the curriculum.
Yes.
And we got to stop that mindset we teaching to the test. No, we got to teach. If we're gonna close, because that's how they measure the achievement gap. It's closed, right?
Most definitely.
Okay. And so we tightly focus on the standard. That is our curriculum. And it's a very rigorous curriculum. Gone are those days that what are the 50 states in America? Identify this. Gone are those days that low comprehension.
Oh no, yeah, you're gonna have to analyze something. Now.
You're gonna have to analyze. You're gonna have to explain. And our curriculum is aligned with the ACT and SAT. Margaret Kilgo told me that. Now that you got me, I got the proof.
Dr. Wise, you do. Look, well, I'm going home after this, Dr. Wise. Ain't nothing else to. I hope y'all get it. Woo, I can't wait to share this. Okay, so now, where are you in the process? I know you say you got the dual role right now going into schools. Does that leave you any other time to kind of share this with other districts or other schools, or how's that going?
Well, I'm willing to share anytime I'm asked to share it. Because it takes a village.
Most definitely.
And I'm willing to do that. Anyone, you can call me. I'm willing to speak with your team of leaders. I've worked with principal, of course, as a CEO. I had to refocus my principals on their vision and mission. What I see is that we throw people, for lack of a better term, into a principalship. But many of those principals never understudied under someone that was an outstanding instructional leader. See, as the principal, you are the instructional leader.
Yes.
And principals really don't get the opportunity. But first of all, you got to take the initiative. See, I taught high school for 12 years. Okay. And that was at a majority white school, but school in poverty children. I built relationship with all children, right? So I taught high school, but even when I was a high school teacher, I knew how to build those strong teacher-student relationship, but I understood I'm friendly, but I'm not your friend. Okay. You're here to learn, but I made learning fun. I refer back to that proverb, wise is he who brings joy to teacher. And so I went from high school to elementary school. When I got to the elementary school, my first day on the job, I suspended a little kindergarten. And the teachers looked at me like, you can't do that.
Look, you're going to get in and get out.
But I learned, and this was in DeSoto ISD. I'm going to shout out to DeSoto.
Yeah.
I learned everything I could from those teachers in elementary. They grew me. Yes, they did. Okay. I learned from them. But getting back to your question of helping others, we're in this profession to help others. So I'm willing to help any and everyone. But teachers need a blueprint. I listened to one of your other podcasts, and you kind of asked the same question. But teachers need a blueprint. Even veteran teachers need a blueprint. And so, coupled with a strong academic program, we have an instructional framework under CCC. See, on Monday, what you gonna do on Mondays? My teachers, they know what to do. They front load. How does that look? See, in those true PLC, that's where you go in and unpack the teach 2-3 weeks in advance. So when it's time to teach that teach, you are ready. And during your PLC, you're going to model that. If it's your turn, Kevin, to teach you, you're going to get up. You're going to take us through the entire lesson plan, right? And then we're going to give feedback, and everybody has a voice. I don't care if you're a novice teacher. And then you go on treasure hunts. I learned that from Margaret Kilgo. You go on treasure hunts. and you find activities, resources, and material that align with the standard.
Yes.
See, when you look at those standards, it tells you how deep to go,
Yeah.
how rigorous, complex by what? The verb.
Come on now.
It tells you what you're going to teach. Okay. That's the content. Analyze what? Author purpose. And it tells you the context, the how. By using text evidence. It's that teak is out there. It
Yeah.
may not be verbatim. So what? So why aren't we unpacking the teaks with fidelity?
Come on now.
Now I know what I gotta do, teacher. We're gonna get together our PLC, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna create this exemplary lesson.
Yeah.
And be ready to deliver to our children.
What they say, do a little sparring in that thing.
There you go. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, what are you gonna do? See, our children need elaborate rehearsal.
Yeah.
They don't come with that background knowledge. The children I work with, children pop.
Come on now.
They need elaborate rehearsal. It's not a one and done.
Yeah.
Okay, I talk author purpose, but you didn't teach it in context. You didn't teach it in context. They need elaborate rehearsal. And I can go all day about this.
But look, I mean, that's what I often say. That's what the passion at though.
I love
but
it.
It's so needed.
Yes.
It's so needed because, like you say, in that PLC, that is where the magic should be happening. That's where those rehearsals, those exemplary should be created. Because by the time you come back out here, I need you to know where you're going and know where you want them to go. What does it look like when we do accomplish that?
That's right. That's right.
Come on now.
And that's where it is. So just think about the impact that has on a novice teacher or a first, second, third year teacher.
Yeah.
And they come through a system like that.
Yes. They set up for life.
Set up for life. I have a young lady on my campus. She's from Wyoming. Her family owns 112,000 acres. I said, well, so you own Wyoming, right? And this is different for her.
Yeah.
But baby, she's a rock star. Okay.
Put me in the right place.
Put her in the right place. Gave her a blueprint. Work with her.
Yeah.
And you have to get out your office and do these walkthroughs. Okay.
Yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. Wow. Yeah, you got to be outside.
You got to inspect what you expect.
Come on now. That's what they say.
We are required to do 20 walkthroughs a week. The entire administrative team and your instructional specialists along with us.
Yes.
If it's 5 of us, we got to make sure that number is 20 and give those teachers that immediate feedback.
Immediate bite size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just say, hey, you're good. You're good. I like what I see.
Yeah. Keep going.
Or these are the things when you call them in that we need to work on. You got to catch it.
Yes.
You can't catch it in your office.
Come on now. All right.
Work.
So look, how do we find you? How do we get this information? Are you on social media? Are you dropping these nuggets out in these streets? What's going on, Dr. Wise?
Well, I do have a Facebook page, but not for the CCC model. But I'll be more than happy to share my email address where they can email me.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we'll
okay. Classy.
Yeah. Come on now.
CLASSY, then the underscore sign, Wise, WISE at yahoo.com.
Oh, look, that's how you know. That's how you know when we age ourselves like that. When you pull that yahoo.com out, you know I've been in the game for a long time. Look, come on now.
I also have a Gmail account. Let me give you that. Classy.wise, WISE, the number 1 at Gmail.
Come on now. Wow. Look, Dr. Wise, everything that you dropped today was so relevant, so important, but it should be happening more than not in our schools, right? You're thinking about all those. In our district, we use a lot of the Get Better Faster model, right? We use a lot of that data-driven instruction. So we have those meetings where we come in and we're practicing and we're modeling and we're role playing and rehearsing. But I think in order for us to turn the needle and get back to what education is, we got to have that consistently across the playing field. And so it sounds like your model is what can bring that back. Man, so we got to get some more schools doing this. So now currently, what's the next plan? What's the next plan for the CCC?
Well, The next plan for CCC is to continue to do the work where I am now.
Come on now.
And then from there, I'll see where God leads me.
That's
Because
it.
wherever He leads me,
Mm.
I will follow. But I will say this, none of this will work because you said something to make me think without consistency. You have to be consistent
Yes.
in anything you do,
Mhm.
and you have to monitor.
Yes.
You have to
Got
inspect what you expect.
Monitor and adjust.
Yes,
Come on now.
monitor and adjust.
Yeah.
And the numbers are not lying to you. If they student perform only 20%, well, that's all they learned. They
Yeah.
made a 20% on your test. It's not, and let me say this, I gotta say because I didn't say that. It's never, listen to me, it's never the children. Never the children.
Mm.
If students aren't learning,
Mm.
because we're not teaching them. Either that or we're not using the right resources and materials to reach them. It's in our planning of our lessons, but it's never the children's fault. And I want to say one thing to our parents.
Yes.
I talked about community engagement. Parents, we need you. We need you to send your child to school ready. A teacher can't do everything. They're supposed to become school ready. Help us help your child. Get your child behavior in check.
I almost just threw the whole microphone. Thank you so much, Dr. Y.
I love children.
Yeah.
I love all children.
Yeah.
But today, I'm concerned about the African American child,
Yes.
the Black child.
Mhm.
We got to stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
It's a village. And you say it's a village,
Mhm.
then work with the school.
Yes.
Work with the schools.
Come on
And
now.
we'll work with you. I promise you that.
Yeah.
When I first went to the school where I am now, I take the tough assignments.
Yeah.
I say I'm a glutton for punishment, but I love it. Why? Because that's where the need is.
Yeah.
I was called everything but the child of God, but now I'm being hugged. I love you. I don't even see them anymore, only when I need them.
Because they trust you now. They know.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And you know what? I didn't lower my standards. I kept my expectations high.
That's it. You
I
got
didn't
to.
lower them because you cussed me out.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. And now, they all is well. Our babies are like soldiers around there. They're learning, deep
That's it.
learning. See, because you can't drive to deep learning where there's no structure,
Yes.
where there's no order, ain't no learning, not no deep learning
No.
going on.
No, because you manage it most of the time.
There you go.
Yeah. Come on now. Look. All right, y'all. Dr. Wise, this is the last thing. I know you talk to the parents. Time is coming up. We got aspiring principals that's coming into the game, aspiring leaders. Give us one thing that you would say to be able to work towards creating a school like you did, even in DeSoto.
Well, principals, you have to focus on your vision and mission in order to carry out your district's goals and objectives. Okay? You have to have a plan, a strategic plan of action. Set your standards high and don't lower your standards because of the pressure. And be consistent. When you go into a school, you go into the school to transform and uncover those practices and structures that and mindsets that fosters innovation and excellence. Identify those things. What works, keep it. What doesn't work, throw it out. And you can't chase every program out there. You find that is research based. I can name several programs that we use that's research based, and I will say we use Reading Horizon for reading. And I think the state has done an excellent job. We're HB3, so we're digging in to get all children reading on grade level by third grade.
Most definitely.
Right, but it's no good if you're not in and out of those classrooms to inspect what you expect.
Most definitely.
So you got to know if they implementing it with fidelity. You can't know unless you go see.
Yeah.
Right. And once you get the results, the results. So be that type of principal where You know who you are and stay true to that. Keep your standards high. Keep them high. Have a culture, a strong instructional culture, have a culture of high expectations for everyone, including yourself. Have a culture of community engagement and a student, number one, a student centered culture. See, it's not about me and it's not about you. It's about these children. It's about our children. They can learn. They will learn. These children now, when I mom, now they speaking with authority. They come to me. Can I do this? Can I do that? I want to run this. Can I a business proposal by you? Okay.
Trust.
And community. Bring in your community. I say that culture of community engagement. Where I am now in Waco, we have 34 community partners at that one school.
Yeah. It's big.
We have Lean on Me Monday, where the Divine Nine comes in.
Come on now.
Where the Divine Nine comes in on Mondays and work with our fifth graders.
Yeah.
Not on teaching them to read, but reading strategy, how to comprehend, how you dig into a passage and get that text evidence.
Lean on me.
Lean on me. Divine Nine.
Well, y'all, I think that's a wrap on that one. We might shut it, Mr. Dave. We're gonna shut it down after this. It's up. It's over. She shut the podcast down. Hey, no, I'll just. Hey. Woo! Look, Dr. Wise. I want to say thank you for stopping by the table, giving us some of this good information, something that we can take and put in our bags and go use right now. I look forward to what you got going with the CCC. I'm pretty sure that right now, Waco, next stop, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. But I love the passion. I love what you're doing. I agree. We got to get in there. We got to dig a little deeper, but we got to have that structure first, right? Because other than that, everybody else, you not a sage on stage. I need you to facilitate, but that means we got to have the structure set up for you to facilitate.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. This is KT. We are here at TAPSY 2024. We are leveling up and leading the way. Y'all heard Dr. Wise. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's look at some of our comments here. What you say? Miss Fangy say, preach. Oh, so she already know. So big shouts out there. She and HSD getting it in. So big thank you to everybody that tuned in. And thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, y'all. We will be back with more interviews today. This is KT. Stay